This is WPTV, William Patterson Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The NHL season is coming to a close, and here to break down all the latest from the ice, we have Anthony, Andrew, and Joe. Now, Anthony, I'll start off with you. All three local teams, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Devils, they're all making playoff pushes, all going to have a chance at the Stanley Cup. Who do you think has the best shot to take it home?
So, everyone knows I'm an Islanders fan, so I'm going with the Islanders. You know, I really like the Islanders, and don't call me a shill because I think I have a legitimate argument here. The Isles have the most playoff experience out of any of these teams in the past 4 or 5 years. You know, the Isles made it back-to-back Stanley Cup semifinals. They've lost to the Lightning both times, but they have a good team around them. I mean, Ilya Sorokin would be right there for the Vezina Trophy if it wasn't for Linus Ullmark. We'll get to him in a second. And they also have Bo Horvat. They have Matt Barzal, who's returning soon. J.G. Pageau is a very good player. I think the Islanders have a shot. I really do.
They've definitely been very active with the mid-season moves trying to ascend in the East. Gavin?
Well, I'm going with the Rangers. They acquired Patrick Kane. They acquired Tarasenko and Micheal. Micheal is one of the best defensemen out there. Standing at 6'7" is insane, but the reach he has as a defenseman. And Shesterkin has been playing really well. And having that 1-2 punch with Halak really extends them really far. And they're getting hot at the right point. And lately, since February, they've had one of the best records, and it's been very quiet with how they've been playing.
You know, definitely been something to build upon after that Patrick Kane trade. Joe, where are we going?
I'm going with the Devils. Again, you know, no bias here, unfortunately. But listen, even though despite the Devils struggling, winning 1 out of 5 games, they're probably one of the, complete teams in the Metropolitan Division as well. Vanacek has been well in the goal position. Dougie Hamilton's probably one of the top defensemen this year in the NHL. They've done a lot of acquiring in the offseason with Marino, Hala, and they got Timo Meier. Timo Meier was absolutely huge acquiring him for San Jose. He's been a difference maker. Hughes is having an outstanding season, and I think the Devils have a great shot to really make a long run in the Stanley Cup.
Long run potential for the Devils and potential in the future as well with that young core that they have, Joe. I'm going to go with Andrew Gavin. I'm taking the New York Rangers. We've seen them do it last year. Been a little while since we've seen the Devils or the Islanders make that deep kind of push. They still got Igor Shesterkin, so that's really kind of that safety net. Goaltending, as we know in the playoffs, very, very crucial. But, Joe, speaking of goaltending, I'm going to keep with you. Boston's got a very good goaltender in their own right. Linus Ullmark is having a hell of a season.
Yeah, listen, Boston already punched a ticket to the playoffs, but how about Linus Ullmark? Without him, he's really one of the biggest reasons why the Boston Bruins have been successful in the goaltending position. I mean, he's got a goals average a game is only 195. His save percentage is only 937, which is really good. His record is 35-5-1, and this record for the Boston Bruins total is 54-11-5. Again, he's one of the reasons why they're successful. He has 2 shutouts. He also scored a goal, an empty netter this well this season. You don't really see a lot of goalies score goals in general, but when you have a guy who can really defend the net really well, and he's also the favorite to win the Vezina Trophy as well, so that's huge for him. This is Boston's best chance to really make a huge playoff run and potentially win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, definitely have a chance. Boston's obviously made deep runs in the playoffs numerous times in our lifetime. It'll be interesting to see if they could do it again. Andrew, what are you seeing from the goaltender?
I mean, he's having a Martin Brodeur-esque type season. No one's had an under 2 goal against average since like 1997. That is insane. And he's the reason the Bruins are one of, if not going to break the record for most wins in the NHL.
Brodeur is definitely a very high praise. So.
Yeah, that's the season he's having. Yeah.
That was legend.
Anthony, Linus Ullmark, what have you seen?
Yeah, I don't know what it is up in Boston, but they just generate great goalies. I mean, Tuukka Rask a few years ago. Now you look at Linus Ullmark; he's an absolute stud. And I mean, if they're gonna win the Stanley Cup, it's gonna be because of Linus Ullmark.
And Rask was good too in his time during Boston as well.
He was very good.
I agree with you. The line of goalies that they produce, it's very well and a good platoon that they have there.
Another team that's going to be looking to make a playoff push. Could have done so last year. Didn't quite get as far as they would have liked. That's the Carolina Hurricanes. Anthony, what have you seen from this team?
Listen, everyone loves Boston. I love Boston, but don't sleep on the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going to take a look at their numbers right here. They're a very deep team. They have 4 players that have more than 50 points. That's Nekis, Vechnikov, Burns, Aho. They're very, very deep. They have 100 points on the season, 232 goals scored, 179 goals allowed, a points percentage of .725. They have a point in 72.5% of their games. They are very, very good, and they have a really good goaltender as well in Antti Ranta.
You know, definitely a team to be reckoned with. Joe, what do you like from the Canes?
Well, how about give a lot of credit to head coach Rod Brind'Amour. It's 5 years so far at the Canes, all 5 years behind the bench. He's taken them to the playoffs. And you mentioned Andre. Andre, unfortunately, that's a big loss for the Canes right there. He's out for the season, torn ACL. He actually led the team with 55 points in 64 games so far this season, but they still have Sebastian Aho. He's a really good player as well. And how about their goaltender position, Peter Kochetkov? He's been another reason why they've been successful winning games in front of the net.
Andrew?
See, you're talking about all these top four players. You're thinking about Jasper Fast. You're forgetting about Jack Drury, Jacob Slavin. And these players, they have depth and depth. Lines 1 through 4 are top in the league.
You know, lines 1 through 4, very efficient team. Carolina Hurricanes definitely have a chance to make the Stanley Cup. And a lot of teams have a chance to make the Stanley Cup. So potential dream matchups, if you will, could potentially be on the way. A dream matchup that I would like to see. I talked about them before. The Rangers are coming, and I would love to see them face off against the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, baseball fans here, football fans, Patrick Mahomes, Mike Trout. You want to see a guy like Connor McDavid, the best player in the NHL, get up into the Stanley Cup. That would be a lot of fun, and see that kid line for the Rangers continue to ascend. Walker, what is your dream Stanley Cup matchup?
You know, I got to be real with you. I really like it'd be really, really fun to see the Kraken and the Devils in the Stanley Cup. These are two teams that are on the rise, two teams that really came out of nowhere this year, two teams that are really, really having great seasons, and this is the start of something good for both of these teams. So to see them play against each other in the finals would be really, really cool.
I like the Devils, love it, but I'm not really sold on the Kraken. Yes, they are having a great season. I will say that. But they have such a young core. They have no playoff experience.
But that's what makes
All
it
they have
fun.
is Jordan Eberle. He's just the only really true veteran
But that's
player
what makes it
on
fun,
that team.
Joe.
I'm listening. They have McCann. They have Bernier. But those guys are young. They have no playoff experience.
Right, but that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it entertaining. These two young cores that are going to be going at it could start a long-term rivalry.
There's just better teams out there. There's the Golden Knights who are better. There's the Oilers who are better. The Kings are better. They've been so wild. Probably
This is the
potentially
NHL
be better this
playoffs.
year too.
Anything can happen, man. Like anything.
I'm not disagreeing with you with that, but I just think when it comes to the playoff, it is different atmosphere. I will agree with that because we see teams bounce early in the first round. I mean, Boston bounced in the first round one time, but you know I think veterancy does play a point. But when teams are hot, though, teams are hot.
All right, Joe, settle down. We're going to get to your pick. You're going to close us out. I'm going to throw things over to Andrew. Gavin, what is your dream matchup?
My dream matchup, and this is just because how the 2014 rematch, Kings Rangers, and it was my first year really following the Rangers, and you know. Watching those games, that's my nightmare stare. Drew Doughty losing in overtime for the Kings to clinch it. I'll never forget that. That ruined my life. But to watch Jacob Trouba lift the trophy in the Garden, that will be something special.
We're on a similar wavelength with the Rangers.
Yes.
Joe, close us out. Stanley Cup dream matchup.
And we go back to 2012. New Jersey's probably, was one of the best teams, obviously, at that time. They lost to the Kings. I would love to see a Kings-Devils rematch, just like 2012. That was the Kings team that had Dustin Brown, had Jonathan Quick at the goal position. Trouty was on that team as well. Zach Parise is on that team. That was such a great Devils team, living that moment. The last time Devils won a Stanley Cup was back in 2003. So to see a Stanley Cup race in the Prudential Center in downtown Newark, the only team we have left really professional-wise in Jersey, I would love to see that again.
Yeah, no, all our local teams have a chance, but teams like the Maple Leafs, the Lightning, the Bruins.
Maple Leafs are frauds. Doesn't matter. You're going to be the first round bounce.
exits.
Listen, 5 years in a row. They're going to make it 6 this year when they get bounced in the first round by Tampa Bay.
It's very possible. But that was a very fun hockey block. And we're going to switch things over from the ice into the sun as the baseball and softball teams have just come back from Florida and are on a tear right now. Stick around on WP Sports Desk.